Here's the thing that comes with age is the miles, right? So you buy a car, it's not even the age of the car, it's the miles that are on the car.
Yeah.
And it's not even just the quantity of the miles, is it like hard miles, like city miles, right? Like you get a cab, in New York City, if you buy a Toyota Camry with 70,000 miles on it, like, did it used to be a cab? Was it an Uber?
Watch and/or listen while we tackle tough and sometimes taboo topics filmed live over drinks. This platform allows us to articulate our thoughts and challenge our beliefs. This is SipTalk. Grab a drink and enjoy.
All right, the long pour is complete. This is SipTalk Podcast, episode 276. My name is Justin DiGiulio from the new SipTalk headquarters. The DiGiulio office.
Absolutely.
Just call it SipTalk Studios. We need a little SipTalk Studio sign, I think. This is what this is going to become. Joined by Jason Barisha, freshman real estate agent, residential turned commercial.
Absolutely.
And today's topic is going to be a 19-year-old, myself, versus a 40-year-old, obviously not him.
Yeah.
So today's topic is a 19-year-old versus 40-year-old. He got me a little liquored up at lunch today. Not really, but a little bit. I will be drinking black Irish beer. And
starting off the night well.
You got Kool-Aid. So, yeah. I mean, that's how legality goes here in New York City. Especially when we're live, we don't want to be busted here. So
absolutely,
we're doing our best to pay attention to local laws. 19-year-old. This is our first time, by the way, using the new SipTalk Studios. I don't know if you see, the plan is to steam this, but we got little wrinkles in our velvet.
Lovely velvet.
Our velvet curtains. We got a new desk. So if you're watching us live, we are live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitter and Twitch under my name, Justin DiGiulio. Also live on TikTok, but we can't see your comments on TikTok. If you're watching this, it's been pre-recorded. It's no longer Thursday night at 8:30. Make sure that you subscribe to this podcast, whether you're live or not, on any of the aforementioned podcast platforms, but ideally YouTube and Apple Music and Spotify, everywhere. I think we basically... current day of the internet, we exist pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
So, two things. I'm going to have you introduce yourselves, and then you are the interviewer of the podcast. You're going to challenge me on being, as you approach 40, and I've said for a long time that I'll let you talk in a minute, I promise. I've said since I was 19 that I was 40 years old. Now that I'm just about 40 years old, I basically feel like I'm 58. Which, in my mind, a 58-year-old is so far from 40-year-old.
Yeah.
Only because at 40 now, I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm still 26. But at 26, I felt 40. At 19, I felt 40.
Wow.
At 35, I felt 40. And
at 19, I feel 40 now.
Well, you're hanging out with me, dude.
Exactly.
So, we all make bad choices. So the question is really how much have we diverged, you and me, and everybody's not everybody, young people are giving old people a hard time, old people are giving young people a hard time. Absolutely. When I say everybody, I mean old people. And by old people, I mean, you're not old, my friends, you're just middle-aged. Also, turn up the volume because we don't know how the audio quality is going to be. It's our first, is he 19 or 12? Thank you, schizoid asshole. This is our first podcast in the new studio. We got the old mic, but it's a omnidirectional. Well, we'll see. It's an omnidirectional podcast mic. If you're watching us live, you're having a hard time understanding what we're saying, go to the archives. Go to SipTalkPodcast.com. Check out some of the old episodes. We've tuned in the audio there. Long intro short. Episode 276. New location. DiGiulio Real Estate Office. SipTalk Studios. I'm having a drink. He's having a pink Kool-Aid, which I don't know. When you're 19,
Mr. Cool Mug.
You just came back from vacation, right? You went on vacation where?
Yes, I went to North Carolina.
And did you drove?
Yes.
And who did you go with?
I went with my family.
Mother, father, brother, brother.
Everybody, yeah.
Mother, father, brother, right? You got 2 brothers.
Yep.
You got a family of 5.
Yep.
All right. How many vehicles did you take?
We took one.
You took one?
Yes. And thank God, because the back seat actually opens up. So we fit everything in there.
So you went where on vacation?
We went to Wilmington, North Carolina.
Wilmington, North Carolina, which my regular co-host, James Boswell, him and I as teenagers, his family used to rent a house in Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach, actually, right on the beach. And we would drive down there. Usually his family would drive and my family would drive. As we got older, I would drive as his family would drive. I got a funny story. If we have time, I'll tell you that story. But Wilmington, Wrightsville area, beautiful area, great beach, great in the summertime.
Amazing.
In the wintertime, though, you might as well be on fucking Long Island.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it feels like. You got 4 seasons mixed, and you got hurricanes over there.
And right now, so you said the first few days you had rain.
It was rainy, cloudy, rainy.
And you were sick.
Yes, I was sick.
But as a responsible, motivated adult,
Yes.
you were eager to come home. Is that
Absolutely. I was very eager.
When a 19-year-old goes on vacation and wants to come back, lives in Connecticut, went to North Carolina, wants to come back to the grind in Midtown Manhattan, what's wrong with you?
Not everything. You know, we have so much business going on here. I'm busy pretty much out the ass. I'm pretty
You
much
are.
back.
When people say, "Hey, how are things going right now, Justin?" I'm like, "Dude, we have so much shit up
It's
here."
crazy.
You were one of the people that's got a handful of deals, like literally levitating over the ground. We're waiting for that next shoe to drop, and you were motivated to come back to close these deals, motivated to come back to just get back to the grind.
I miss the grind. When you're out for a vacation for a week, it doesn't really feel like it.
What does it feel?
It just feels like work because I was working there also. You know, setting up
work. You were?
Of course. Every day I was getting leads.
Dude, how is it?
Every day.
To be honest with you, this conversation is going already better than I thought. It actually feels a little contrived. It feels a little contrived. And the point is that, like you were saying, the things that I would hope somebody in your role would do. When I have agents that go on vacation, especially in the summertime, which is, by the way, our busy season in New York City real estate.
Very.
These guys go on vacation. They come back from vacation. It takes them generally 2 or 3 days, even just to step foot back in this office. So, which the mindset of you're not a millennial, right? I don't know what the things are called.
Gen Z.
I think maybe I'm a millennial. I might be you're Gen Z.
Yeah, I believe so.
Is Z after X?
I couldn't tell you.
We should have done some research on this one.
Yeah.
But point is that me, as somebody who's effectively 40 years old, I see people go out on vacation and they come back and they don't even want to come back to work.
Yeah.
Now you were away and you were working and you wanted to come back just to get to it.
Yes. Monday we came back. I came in, first one in, last one out.
First guy in the office after vacation.
Yeah.
And the last one out, right? You were the last one out.
We left like 10 o'clock.
This topic is you're the wrong guy I should be talking to this topic.
I know. I'm 40 years old at heart.
Yeah. You just can't drink and
Can't do a lot of things.
Here's the thing that comes with age is the miles, right?
Yes.
So you buy a car, it's not even the age of the car, it's the miles that are on the car.
Yeah.
And it's not even just the quantity of the miles, is it like hard miles, like city miles, right? Like you get a cab, in New York City, if you buy a Toyota Camry with 70,000 miles on it, like, did it used to be a cab?
Exactly.
Was it an Uber? Does it have the hard city miles? Somebody in the city or outside of the city own it? Like, you got to know the miles.
Yeah.
But I feel like you got a few rough miles.
Yeah.
You got like not rough, but I feel like you are craving. You're craving like off-road miles,
Yes.
city pothole miles.
Yes.
So tell
I
me a
want
little.
that like 600-mile range, just straight, continue.
Oh, those are easy miles. Those are highway
Those are
miles.
easy,
Those are
exactly.
that's what you want?
Sometimes.
I'll tell you, you know what drives me? Is I don't want the easy miles. I actually don't want to be in a car. I want to sleep at home on the sofa. Right? What drives me is leisure. Which also, by the way, vacation theory is like day one you go on vacation, you want to sit on the beach for breakfast, drink a margarita, wake up, drink another margarita, wake up, drink another margarita, have a little lunch, come back to the beach, drink a margarita, go for a little swim. Ideally, you're with the love of your life, which I'm lucky to, be in that situation. You have a little, sleepy, sexy time. You go back to the beach, another margarita. But the problem is day two, you wake up, you're like, bro, another margarita? You have a different drink, right? And the thing about, but I'm driven to relax, but I can't fucking relax. Yeah. And it's margarita theory. Like, how many fucking frozen margaritas do you have before. You're like, you have a mezcal Rita? You have something with tahini?
Something else.
You have is there anything else? Like, I need change. I need something else. But I feel like you got a little of that. You're driven to relax.
Absolutely.
You're driven because you want to.
You got to start young so you can finish old, you know?
So the goal here is to get into a argument about him being young and having a different perspective on life. So far, that's not happening. I got the wrong guy here.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me how I just should relax and I shouldn't try to, and everything is good. All right, that's my goal, is for you to be arguing that point. So far, it's not happening. But I want, and again, unfortunately, you're supposed to be the interviewer here. You're my guest co-host. Oh boy, you're my guest co-host. All right, we're back online. I want you to be conducting this, but I think being the host of SipTalk, I have to interview you a little bit to get started. I want to know. So, Jason, you're 19 years old.
Yes.
Where do you live?
I live in Connecticut.
You live in Connecticut. How long is your commute in?
About an hour and 30 minutes every day.
30 minutes. What's that on your wrist there?
I'm wearing an AP.
You're wearing an AP.
Yes.
All right. What, you got that at the second hand? Oh, it was one of those machines with the claw?
Yes, the claw machines, vending machines.
So for those of you who don't know what an AP is, right? That's like an advanced history class or something,
Yes,
right? It's
yes.
like an advanced watch. You get extra
Exactly.
credit. So fill us in for those of us who don't know what that is.
AP.
By the way, I'm
is-
wearing my Apple Watch, which costs like $600.
So AP is the most. It's like better than Rolex. It's almost one of the best watches.
So if we were to talk cars, right? It's the Mercedes of cars?
It's the Rolls Royce.
It's the Rolls Royce of cars.
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about this watch.
I bought this watch when I sold my first business.
Okay.
I sold my first business, and then I had enough money to basically relax.
Mm-hmm.
So I was happy. I was very happy.
But you decided you want to drop some stupid money on a watch.
Absolutely,
How do
absolutely.
you, actually, let's back up. So I like having a watch. I like telling the time. Actually, I hate having a smartwatch, but I like the fact that smartwatch is like, hey, motherfucker, you didn't do shit today. Like, I hate that. I love and hate that it makes me feel bad. But I'm not a
I
watch.
sold my Apple Watch because I don't like it. I don't like it.
So I'm not a watch guy in the sense that, like, I'm a car guy. I love cars.
Yeah.
But I don't have taste in watches. I don't know enough about them. So where did you develop this taste? Or you just were like, I have money. Fuck you. I have fuck you money.
Exactly.
I'm going to buy a fuck you watch.
Exactly.
That's
That's
what it is?
exactly what I thought. And once I sold my business, I was like, all right, let's do like, this is accomplishment. You know, I was happy. I want to get something sentimental. The partner that I had, I gave him a watch when I sold my business.
Damn,
I
so
gifted him a watch.
your partner made money and you gave him a watch.
Yes, and I gifted him a watch.
What'd you give him?
I gifted him a Rolex Submariner.
So Rolex Submariner. I know it's a little bassy in this room. Peter said we need to put some bass.
Little,
Quarter
yeah,
pounds in
maybe.
here. We'll get there. We'll try to do a little auto tune after the fact in our post edit. So I don't know shit about watches. I mean, I'm old, so I know shit about everything.
Yes.
I know shit about your watch. How did you stumble? So if somebody's like, Justin, if I'm 19 years old and somebody's like, Justin, what's the sickest car you can think of? I'd be like, BMW. And they're like, okay, what BMW? I'd be like, the ZX-R3. Like, there's no such cars as this. So point is, like, how did you stumble across affinity for fine watches?
So my partner pretty much loved this watch, you know. His business goal,
That watch.
not this one.
Oh, the one you got.
Yes, the one that I got him.
So how did you? Sorry, go ahead.
He wanted it. So I was like, all right, we sold it. Let's get him this. And then for me, I stumbled across this watch. I was on 42nd Street. I was running around 42nd Street. I had money. I went into a store and I was like, all right.
Oh, the guys on the sidewalk, they pulled the thing.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
bed sheets
Exactly.
open and you bought it on the street.
Exactly. You know,
$100.
$100. Yeah.
Okay.
I wish.
But
I wish I spent $100. That would have been better.
But I'm just curious how you justified yourself spending money on a watch you'd never heard of.
It's an investment.
Or if you had heard of the watch, how did you hear it?
I was watching watch videos. I was watching on 42nd Street. I was home. I was doing nothing for like a month. I finished high school. I had money.
So you sold your business while you were still in high school?
Yes. I sold my business while I was in high school. I was junior year. When I
I'm
sold
40 years old building my business, by the way.
It's all right.
My third or
It's all
fourth or
right.
fifth business, by
It's
the
all
way.
right.
But I'm just, Just a little juxtaposition here.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
And when I sold it, I was like, all right, I'm on 42nd Street. I'm watching this. Let's come into the city. I went in with some of my friends. We bought this watch. I bought a couple watches. I bought this. And I bought.
I know you've got it. Dude, that's the thing about young and dumb.
Young and dumb. I guess you could say that.
No, here's the thing. Somebody had said something to me. They're like, oh, Jason has got some nice watches. I'm not a watch guy. I know about watches, but like to me, I'm not a watch guy. Jason, by the way, 19 years old, loves this real estate business. We're going to get there in a minute. Why you love it so much? It's a struggle, but I know you like the struggle. You were helping me paint and just do the hard work.
Yes.
And I think you just volunteered for it.
I think you need that. People that don't want to do hard work, they want an easy life.
But here's the difference. I have to do the hard work to build this business.
Yeah. I don't need to.
You don't need to.
I don't need to, but I want to.
But you want to. By the way, Jason works for me.
Yes, I do.
He doesn't have to, though, but he wants to. And him and I bounce a lot of ideas off each other because of our differences kind of in background.
Yeah.
But long story short, I'm like standing at all this shit. It's dusty. Like we have pictures. I'm disgusting.
Yes, we do.
And I just happened to go out and I saw a watch on a desk, random desk, not your desk. And I'm like, who left this watch? I picked the watch up and I'm like, oh, this is a nice one. It wasn't this one though.
No, this was the gray one. This was my other AP that I had.
So, but I picked it up. I was like, oh, wait a second. This has got to be Jason's watch. But so you just watch YouTube videos to develop an affinity to watch.
Pretty much.
And then you had stupid money and you had fuck you money.
I love it.
And you said, I'm just going to wear a fuck you on my wrist.
Yes, exactly. I spent.
I don't not ask. I don't want to.
I spent a good amount of money on it.
But we're going to. So when you said you bought your partner a Rolex Submariner, rough retail price on a Rolex Submariner.
$12,500.
The watch that he's wearing costs more than your car. Okay.
Some people's houses.
So we're not going to talk numbers.
Down payments.
I don't want to put him on the spot, but
I got to get out of here safe, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we don't want you get mugged on the way. But he's wearing a nice watch.
Yes.
And now you're doing real estate. And I think. Well, you tell me why you're doing real estate.
Well, I was home. While I was finished high school, I was home. I sold everything that I had, and I was pretty much just like, I need something hard. I need a challenge. And I needed something to do. So I was like, all right, let's do real estate. I did my real estate test. I failed. I came here. You saw me in the meetings.
Can we talk about your real estate exam?
Yes.
Okay, because you're a pretty smart guy.
Absolutely.
You present smart at least. You
for
present
certain
smart,
things, for tests.
but you test
terrible.
poorly. You test poorly.
Terrible.
So this guy came in. We met at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
And failed his real estate test.
Yeah.
We sat down, told him how to study. Failed again.
Yeah.
Failed again.
Yeah,
Failed
again.
And then, did you pass after the study?
Fifth. Yes. We studied in his office.
So I said to Jason, I said, listen, you're gonna sit down with me. We're gonna do a one-on-one. There's another guy, so 1-on-2. I'm gonna teach you guys the real estate course.
Yeah.
And after that, you passed.
We studied and we passed.
And you passed.
And then we came back the next morning. We studied even more, and then we went to the place and we passed.
All right.
So that was a plus.
So let's get to where we disagree on everything zeitgeist. You know what zeitgeist means?
No. You're too old. You're too old.
Zeitgeist is like kind of like current topics, current trending. You know, like it's in the zeitgeist. Like it's a popular type thing. Where do we start? What
do you think about Gen Z? How their business models, like people that come into this office that you see, young individuals, are they driven like other people? Even some older people aren't driven. You'd be surprised.
I have noticed a sharp decline in an ability to eat shit. So I have people who have, I'm not talking about anybody in particular, I'm just kind of talking in general. I have people who have no qualification, who have no upward mechanism to have mobility in life, but they have a real estate license. Now, that was basically where I was when I started. The one thing that I had was hard work. and fear of not being successful. The thing about the new people, and not everybody, because we were talking about this today about the number of people that we have that are actually like brilliant, working hard, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of people we hire, and they don't want to work hard. And to me, the bare minimum is just showing up to the office.
Yeah, that's it.
Right?
That's
showing up to the office. But a lot of these guys, because they're independent contractors, I can't tell them if you're not here 9 o'clock every morning, you get fired. They come in a couple hours, a couple days a week, and you see them. And you're 19 years old, and you look at these guys when they're 25, they're 45, or they're 65 years old. You look at them, and what are you thinking?
These people have bills. They need to get, they want to pay something. They have bills. They have to work, and they work jobs.
A lot of these jobs, yeah.
Work jobs, But if you're doing real estate, it's either you do 100% of it or nothing. It's either you put your foot in the door and you're like, all right, shit, I'm in it. No, I've got to do it.
So on that note, doing 100% of this. So the way that I look at most people who have jobs, excuse the shit out of me, everybody, is a lot of these guys are 60%ers.
Yes.
Okay. They're putting 60% of their effort into this job.
Yeah.
Right.
They like the idea of being.
Well, they like the idea of building and doing something extra.
Absolutely.
But if you're putting 60% of yourself into your job, you're never going to excel at your job.
Yeah.
So then you have a side gig, a side project.
It's like
but my thinking is, if I had a regular job, which I did at one point in time, I put 110% of myself into that job.
Yeah.
Now at 11 o'clock at night, did I check my emails for that job? No. But then I started real estate, and I put 110% of myself into real estate in the time that I wasn't at that job. Which also, when I was at the job and I went to take a piss, I checked my emails and responded to real estate leads. It did not detract from my other job because I was taking a piss. Yeah. But what do other people do when they take a piss? They watch Instagram.
Probably.
Right?
They probably do nothing.
And then they take their time, they come back, they get back to the counter at Burger King, wherever it is. Which my job, by the way, was a semi-corporate job, but I compare it to Burger King because it was effectively the same in my mind. All right, rapid fire. Hit me with some more shit.
Technology.
Okay.
We have some people here that just can't use it. Some people are just very, they're old-fashioned. They love paper. I know you love paper.
I love paper. I tell you guys every day.
I hate paper.
Mm-hmm.
I hate paper. The reason why is because everything's online.
Okay.
If I want to send an email, I send in 30 seconds. I don't need to send.
But if I write a note on my phone, do you know how many hundreds, maybe thousands, I don't know, of notes that I have on my phone that it's like Instagram saved shit. I save shit on Instagram. Never see it.
Yeah.
Okay. If you save something on Instagram, how often do you go through your saved files? I don't do it very often. So for me, if it's not written on paper, I will never physically re-encounter it. But the thing about technology, and I say this especially often when I have older agents, and this is happening for the majority of my career, older agents, 50, 60 plus, don't understand technology. They can't use desktop computers. They can't use laptop computers. They don't understand technology. Now, what's weird is now that the younger generation doesn't understand technology, can't use desktop computers.
True.
All they know is their phone.
Yes.
So I tell them to do something. They're like, "Oh, I'm having trouble." I'm like,
"No, you're
I
right.
can't help you. I don't know how to.
You're right.
I don't know how to do this. Edit video on your phone. Like
It's simple.
On my computer, I've got this big screen. I can move the slider back and forth. On your phone, it's like I move it like a millimeter, and I'm like 40 minutes further in the thing. I can't do it. But young or old, the way that I feel is if you're not adapting to the technology, you're fucked.
Yes,
You're
absolutely.
fucked. And don't adapt. Like there are some things I kind of hold fast and strong on, but I understand that if I want to get further, I have to
adapt.
I gotta adapt.
The people that don't adapt, they're not going to go far. Change is,
here's a lot of the shit that we talk about is that people don't do X, Y, or Z, and they don't go far. In their mind, they think they will go far.
Yes.
But that's in the moment, right?
Yeah.
You have to have this bigger picture. You've got to fucking learn how to. When I see resumes and their skills are Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel.
Progress, yeah.
That's not a skill. That's not a skill.
Anybody can
right?
do it.
And by the way, if your skill is Microsoft Excel and you're not like actually a genius at Microsoft Excel, you just use it. You can log in and put things into boxes. That's not a skill.
Exactly.
Microsoft Excel is actually a powerful tool. Most people don't possess it.
I don't know how to use it still.
Well,
be
Google
honest.
Sheets, Microsoft Excel. Shout out to Sarah Harrison, by the way. I think she's Wisconsin or Minnesota, from the Blocks.
All right.
You know the Blocks. I tell you about the
Of
Blocks.
course. Sarah. What's
No,
up?
but she's a Blocks, not Blocks. She's a Excel brainiac, and she can do things with Excel. I would never be able to fathom.
Hey.
All right, what's next? What do you got?
Things we disagree on.
Okay.
Like generational things.
All right.
Do you have anything in mind? I mean, for certain things, like, I don't know if we want to get into politics.
I was going to go straight to gender fluidity, but go ahead.
Okay, we could do that.
No, you tell me. Where are we? What do we disagree on, Jason?
I don't know. I think we're so alike in business.
Well, because you guys have
so
old
alike.
school mindset also, because you come from an immigrant family.
Yes.
So like you're
I was raised very tough.
you were raised tough?
Yes.
You were raised tough?
Yes.
I saw this guy eat chicken wings today.
Okay, but
What did I say? What did I say to you?
wings,
What did I say to you?
I ate half and whatever.
Dude, I said this. You're like, oh, dude, you eat chicken wings like a white dude. When you're finished with those wings, I'll eat them. All right, there's enough meat left on the wings. I will eat your wings.
Yeah.
All right, but aside from your eating habits, what are we disagreeing?
Probably some business topics, actually.
Okay, what do you think we disagree on business-wise? So you had so tell me a little bit about the business.
Disagree on some like hirings, like your hiring process of some things.
Okay, what about?
I think we need for the DiGiulio group, we need smarter agents. You know, we need people that are sharks, absolute sharks. that
So-
are hungry.
So let me tell you something about hiring. Hiring is guessing.
True.
Okay, I've done hundreds, maybe I don't know, probably less than 2,000, but many hiring interviews. I don't do them anymore. I obviously have people that do them, but there's time to time people come across my desk. I do the interview. The interview is like the most bullshittiest of first dates.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So somebody tells me they're motivated, they're self-starter, da da da. I have no way to test that in the interview, right? And that's not something. What am I going to look at their Instagram page, look at their work history, and say, "So tell me about what projects you worked on at your previous job." And the funny thing about hiring for real estate is to get into this business, you have to take a 77-hour course.
Yeah.
I've hired Ivy League graduates, a handful of them. They do this for like a week and a half. They're just like, it's too hard. I don't like it. I've hired people that worked in kitchens and restaurants who crushed this business. And I mean, I told the story last week, I think, about a guy I hired barely spoke English.
Yeah, you said it.
I happened to look at his portfolio listings, meaning he was listing them, and there was 26 $2 million plus sales listings. Okay, that's so that's $60,000 a million, right? At 6%.
Yeah.
So it's $120,000 in gross commission per listing times 26.
That's insane.
Okay, that's more math than I could do after a few
Can't
years.
do it in my brain.
This guy worked in a restaurant, barely spoke English when he started. Now, that only underlines my statement that hiring is guessing. So I will guess when I hire. Firing is for certain. Once that person's gone, like if I fire somebody or let them go, they're not going to go. Okay, so yes, we do have some questionable hires. That's the whole idea. That's the premise of hiring if you're doing it right, especially in this business. Now, if you're hiring for like a senior coder or X, Y, and Z, where this person has to have a certain set amount of experience, that's one thing. But in real estate, it's not exactly like that. And my business mantra is rather than I want to hire freshman agents like you, and I want to hire B- and C or C+ agents
That was enough.
and train them to be A+ agents.
Yeah.
We have, arguably the city's best training program.
Yes.
I don't even think it's arguable. There's no question about it.
No, there's not.
So that's kind of my philosophy. So you would challenge me on some hiring. I'm defending myself.
What I think is some of the hires, as you said.
If you work for this company, he's talking shit about you, by the way.
Yes,
He's talking shit about
absolutely.
you.
Talking shit about everybody. Some people are just too fucking lazy. In all honesty, some people you hire, they're lazy, they're not hungry. We say it again because it's the fucking truth.
So, but we just talked about our training program. And the biggest thing that I hate about my training is I would say 60 to 70% of it is informational action items, things you can actually take home and do. but 30 to 40% of it is motivational.
Yes. All of it.
And I hate the motivational aspects because to me, I want to just get to the meat and potatoes, but I understand motivation. And the thing is, I can say the same thing to you 15 times, but it might be that one day where your mind is in that place where I say something and it stings and it burns. And that's the thing in that moment that spurs you into action. So I understand the motivational component, and I hate it because to me, I just want to I want to tell you what you got to do. But I understand that there's got to be something, and I can't tell you what to do and make you motivated. Yeah. However, I can prod and poke at you, and one day, one person is going to just feel that. Do you know when I was in middle school, I was a little pudgy. I was out of shape.
Like me.
Middle school.
Okay. Okay.
And one day I had dinner with my family. It was like a big dinner. And then I came home and we had a little mother-in-law suite with a tenant in there. He was a single guy and lived there. And his son was there, and they were going to go out to eat and have seafood. They invited me in. I had already had dinner. And this was like summertime. It was like summertime. We had dinner at like 5 o'clock, 5:30. We came back. That was like 7:30. These guys were going to have dinner. And I went out and I ate seafood. What do you eat? What is the sauce of seafood?
Soy sauce.
No, butter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Butter.
I don't eat seafood. I hate seafood.
So I had dinner. Went out for a second dinner and had all this butter. And I felt so terrible about myself. Now, I'd never done sports, anything. I did sports, but like I was not an athlete. I was not self-motivated. I came home from that second dinner and I felt so gross. I was like, I got to go for a jog. And for the next 10 years of my life, I became a very good runner. I was actually MVP for 3 years in high school. I became a sick runner. But it was because I became so uncomfortable that I was spurred into action. So what motivated me was myself, but it was also the external forces that forced me to feel that way. So I try to be that external force. But I don't expect people to just one day wake up, take a shower, brush their teeth, come to this office, and they're going to make 50 phone calls or do X, Y, and Z. Something external has to happen that makes them uncomfortable, and then they're spurting.
That's exactly what happened. You know, I had that period of time when I was doing real estate where I was like, I don't know if I want to.
You have asked this for 4 months.
Exactly. Absolutely, I did.
The only reason we're doing this is because I recognize that you have a gear has changed in you, and I have a lot of respect for it. And you got.
I have a lot of deals on the table.
You have so many commission dollars right now up in the air.
Yeah.
I am really proud.
It's enough. It's a lot. And I had that spur and I was like, all right, I was half-assing it for like 4 months and I was like, I wasn't really showing that.
You half-assed it for 4 months after how much of a struggle to even get your license?
Oh, it's like it was 3 months. It was 3 months on top of that. Right. I was doing it December and all that, but I half-assed it. You know, I was showing some places and, you know, I really wasn't pushing the client too much. It was too comfortable in a spot where it was like, shit, if I don't change, who the fuck is going to change for me? You know?
But also, you don't need to be doing this job.
Absolutely not.
So you have to put yourself in a discomfort that you don't need to be in, but you yourself have to put yourself in discomfort. So I'm sorry to interrupt you and continue on my point, but that's what I do with the motivational aspect of the meetings, is I try to pry you guys into discomfort.
Yes.
Right? And give you perspective that makes you uncomfortable, because I can't motivate.
Yeah.
You internally have to motivate me. So I have to, you know, when I say, all right, who's flown first class? And like a couple people are like, oh, I did JetBlue, you know, I did first class. It's like, no. When you got on that plane, for the record, let's talk about first class. All right? Don't tell me you went on first class, you spent an extra $130 on your ticket. If you're doing first class, you get on that plane, think about the planes you've been on, you turn left. Okay? Now you can pay for first class, you can be in first class, but if you're taking a right on that plane, that's not real first class.
Hey,
you gotta be in a Dreamliner or something big where you take that left, and that's real first class. Okay? If you're taking a right on that plane, and that's some people are like, yeah, like, yeah. That's not real first class. And you're like, oh, and then they think about it and they're like, oh, wait a second, you're right. Like if you're taking all right, so some of the big planes I've been on, there were seats to the left. What were those seats? Usually international flights, but that's real first class.
Yeah.
Where do we disagree, my friend? Where do you speak up for the young people?
I don't.
What else do we have here? What else do we have? By the way, this week's bar trivia question. This is week 2. Bar trivia is on summer vacation.
Okay.
So we had a question we answered last week for bar trivia. Bar trivia is on summer vacation right now. It's August. Bar trivia, it's hot. The calculating power it takes ChatGPT to come up with these.
It takes time.
We don't use ChatGPT actually. I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of trivia.
We use
Mensa,
brains,
and no, I don't come up with them myself.
Oh.
Sometimes I do
I
actually.
use my brain.
Once in the last 2 years, I did. But no, the bar trivia. We're taking a little break from the bar trivia. We answered it last week. But if you want to win some free SipTalk merch, you want a pint glass, T-shirt, hoodie, a dog T-shirt,
I need one.
a beach towel. Well, you go to SipTalk. Go to SipTalkPodcast.com. Log your answers to the bar trivia, and while you're at SipTalkPodcast.com, make sure you scroll down on that first page and you buy us a drink. Now the drinks are very affordable. You can just buy us a shot. Those are pretty cheap. You can buy us I think a shot is like $8.
That's not bad.
You can buy us an actual cocktail for like 12.
Shit.
You can buy our bar tab, right? I think it's like $100.
That's a good one.
Or you can just kind of recurring contribute like $15-20 to my
So
to the detriment of
we
liberty.
can get a sign back.
This is the first podcast that I've done in the space. I built it for everybody else. You've done a few, but I think we're going to just call this SipTalk Studio and encourage people not to drink. By the way, if you're watching us live, comment your name, comment where you're from, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. Love to give you a little shout out, and don't forget to go to Apple or Spotify or YouTube and follow this podcast.
Absolutely.
All right, what do you got here?
Where are we headed for our business, the DiGiulio Group?
You just only want to talk about business?
Business is what we're here for. Business is what I live for. Business is 24/7, 7 days a week. When I go home tonight, I'm working on my other businesses. I'm not even done. My business time is, this until I get home, work on a couple leads there, and then more business time.
All right. This is not a 19-year-old versus a 40-year-old.
Let's skip this. Let's talk about politics.
All right.
Let's get into some crazy shit. We got some people here. Let's get into some nice topics.
All right. Let me just touch on business. So last summer I did the Blocks reality TV show. It was a business, small business and startup. I just want to address your last question. It's important that I answer it. I did a startup and small business workshop. That was also a reality show. And I went for my board game business. However, I learned so much about real estate, and I love you, my Blocks friends. If you're here, let me know. You got Tegan, number one fan of Jason Barisha right there. So I went for the board game business. However, I was at a different brokerage, and I built an agent. So I was director of agent development, and I built the agent training program there. After the reality show, the entire time I was there, I was just taking notes for the board game business and taking notes for real estate. And there's all these things I wanted to apply to real estate. So I came back. I actually put the board game business, which is what I went there for, on the back burner, like hardcore back burner, which I shouldn't have. And I struggled a little bit with that business. And that was my side. That was my side. This summer, crazy picked up. Still obviously on the back burner because now I have this company.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So I was at a different brokerage last year running the agent development, agent training. I came up with all these things I want to do. And over the course of 3 or 4 months, I said, let's do this. They said, no. They were actually on board with a couple of the ideas, but they said, we'll take this idea if you name it after us. And I was like, well, I'll license it to you. I built it. I'm not going to do it for free.
Exactly.
And I was happy there, but I wanted to do more, and they weren't supportive of that. So after months of negotiations, I called their bluff. Funny thing was, part of what I had wanted to do was build a reality show, and I happened to pass. I couldn't do the reality show in their office because it was busy. I happened to be scouting locations for the reality show. I checked some cool places actually. I checked the auditorium at the Industrious place at One Ten Plaza. I looked at the Regis, WeWork, all the different places I could rent for like a week. This is a space I thought I could rent for a week. And push came to shove. They didn't support the idea. I called their bluff. They said, fuck off. And this is a place we were going to do the reality show. I was going to rent it for a week or two. And I said, all right, let me actually I'm going to move my business here. So
Now we're here.
Now we're here. So business wise, what's the plan? So what's the motif? What's the sports motif in this office? The sports thing that you see recurringly. It's just you're reminded of this particular sport and the thing you shoot your shots for. What's the sports motif?
Hockey.
Hockey. We talk a lot about the hockey
stick.
Hockey stick.
Okay.
And we were actually talking about this when we were having lunch here. The hockey stick goes like this.
Yes.
And then goes like this.
Yeah. Like a swoosh.
The reason that's a motif here is because the early adopters, the people that came on, I needed to explain to them that for a while, shit's not going to change.
Yeah.
Okay. For what feels like forever, shit's not going to change. We need to understand that things are bubbling underground. Right. A lot of things we're testing. We're A/B testing. We're implementing minimally viable products to see like what's going to. I mean, now we're doing international real estate. We got deals in the works in different countries right now. In different countries, we have deals in the works. I ran a brokerage for 7 years. I never did international deals.
What do we have actually?
Tulum. We have Tulum, Mexico.
We have Dominican Republic.
Dubai. Dominicus. We have Dubai. We have
Mexico.
And by the way, these are what we're testing.
Yes.
Okay. And we have deals in the works. That's what we're testing. We have a lot of shit lined up behind that.
We have so much.
But you're not going to see it. Nobody's going to see it until well after it happens. Which, by the way, I am to my detriment. I don't self-promote that much. I don't know if you noticed this week we actually had a pretty decent social media campaign.
We did.
But I don't self-promote that much. But we got some cool things in the works. But the point is, this business, I am trying to build a business that's going to grow. And the way that this business is going to grow is through our agents.
Yeah.
Like you, which is why I tell you guys your primary focus is your clients. You put your clients' needs above your needs.
Absolutely.
If you want to put your commission and your max commission before your clients' needs, you're going to fuck over all your clients. You're not going to have a future in this business. You put your clients' needs ahead of yours,
you're fucked.
No, if you put your clients' needs ahead of
you're good.
You will do well in this business.
Absolutely.
Okay. My client are you agents. So I put your needs number one priority, which is why if you call me at 11 p.m. on a Sunday night.
I called you actually one night. I don't remember.
Oh, you called me one night. It was really fucking late.
It was very late.
Were you surprised that I answered?
Yes.
You were?
I was surprised. I was like, oh shit, he answered. I was like, all right.
Which by the way, this is not my entire life. I also have a lot of shit going on in the rest of my life. So, all right. So that was just my little answer to your business question. What's going on with this company, where we are, which by the way, we started here in October last year with 3 agents, which by the way, we didn't start with 3 agents. We started with like 1 maybe agent, and that person got kicked out because they were friends with me. And then they obviously came over here because they got kicked out. And then somebody followed them, and that was like 3 of us, and somebody else followed them.
How many?
If you look in the closet in my office, there's 4 handprints, and that was the original. That was the original.
Really?
3 plus me, and they're on the wall. We were all painting one night, drinking some beer, and one of them was like, "Justin, we should put our handprints on the wall." I was like, "That's stupid," and he's like, "Yeah, but the originals." I was like, I'm okay with that idea. I'm okay with that idea.
It should be on there.
And then I was like, where are we going to do it? Like, we're not doing it ever. So, but now I'm actually thinking of moving my office into the fucking closet. The closet over there. Because we need more space.
Yeah.
And I want to frame that.
Absolutely.
That'd be pretty cool, right?
You know,
so,
we have a lot of agents coming.
Well, I mean,
we're doing a lot.
We're 55, 60 right now.
That's amazing.
Which is not bad.
It's not bad.
From 3 agents in October, now it's August. Not the trajectory I was going for, but the trajectory we are, and I'm very happy with that. So
still good.
And we got a comment here from Vic J. So we got a comment. So that's all. The reality still should be done. Reality show, by the way, is actually in the works. But I was ready to do it last summer because I wasn't doing everything. I was just doing agent training. And the reality show is about agent training and new agents. Now I'm doing everything: marketing, accounting, hiring. I'm doing freaking podcasts. I don't have that time. But once we get to that certain level, that will probably almost instantaneously become priority number 1.
Yeah.
And we actually have a plan over the next couple of weeks to create not a reality show, but just a YouTube channel about business. So stay tuned for that.
Absolutely.
So let's just screw this up about politics.
What do you think about California? I think California's a shithole.
You think California is a beautiful, beautiful state.
It's a beautiful state. I think the governor and everybody, it's a shithole. It's a fucking mess. It's a mess.
Well,
Absolute mess. Controversial or not, that's an absolute mess of a fucking state.
it is. Well, here's the thing: we're in New York, which is effectively the sister city of the sister state of the sister state of California.
It's a mess.
So, in terms of their governor and our governor, I really dislike both of them. All right. What's the freaking governor's name?
Eric Adams? Or no, Gavin Newsom.
Newsom. So I lost, and this must have been 8 years ago or something. Newsom was on a radio show, and so he said, the traffic was really bad. How are we? It's not getting better. It's been bad. We're known for having bad traffic in LA. What's it? How do we what do you have in mind? And here's what he said. He said, I read one time on a billboard that you're not in traffic, you are traffic.
Fuck does that mean?
Well, I mean, you are the traffic. But the point is that they said, let's come up with a solution. And he just shared a sentiment. And the thing about being in a political position is you have to be the person that makes the tough decisions, which most of the time means you have to be hated by half the people.
Yeah.
We have no politicians right now because of our current economic political situation that run middle line and that can gather votes from both sides.
Yeah.
I think relatively soon it may actually happen because we're so divided.
Yes.
But right now it's one or the other. So either you hate Trump or you love Trump. Now, I hate Trump, okay? The idea of somebody, make sure you didn't cancel that. The idea of somebody loving Trump is right. And now, if you voted for Trump, I don't hate your guts. Now, if you voted for Trump, there's a lot of people that hate your guts. If you voted for Trump, we could talk, and I could probably understand some reasons why you voted for him. But if you love Trump,
it's a different story.
I would say, well, what about this and this and this and this? And if you just throw it all under the carpet, the rug, I think the phrase you throw under the rug. Sweep it under the rug. If you sweep it all under the rug, to me, you're an idiot. Okay. Now I'm not saying that Trump, I'm not saying the other side is any better.
No.
I'm just saying let's look at the issues. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's
come up with a solution.
But let's come up with a solution that benefits the majority of the people. And in New York City, we're in a place where you have a loud minority that dictate the laws. And as a country, we're also in a place where a loud minority dictate the laws. And the electorate base in California and New York are poor people.
Yeah. You're right.
Which is generally very liberal people.
Yeah.
Okay. And not everybody. I made a lot of money, especially early on in my career. I made a lot of money and I was very liberal. Okay. Now I'm not political. I don't choose sides. I just look at issues. And for the most part, I don't vote because I hate both people. Okay. I'm just, and the idea of me voting for one person, the idea of voting for Biden last year. Now, you could have argued voting for Biden is an anti-Trump vote, but also I'm not picking sides here. So it's not an anti-Trump vote. Trump is a bad dude. He's not a great president, but some of the things I'll tell you the first time I realized I was not that liberal. I was watching the Obama debate with
Trump.
No, not with Trump. No, Obama didn't debate Trump. With who's the guy from Utah?
Was this in 2008?
Probably. If somebody wants to comment who Obama, Mitt Romney.
Yes. Oh shit.
And the first interview, Mitt Romney kicked Obama's ass. And I wanted Obama. For me, there was no Mitt Romney, a Christian guy. He was Mormon. I think he was Mormon from Utah. To me, I was like, and he was super Republican. This is the worst thing that can happen to America.
Yeah.
And then they had a conversation, and so many of the things I was like, damn, he's got some points. Obama lost that first debate. The reason he won the election is there's two more debates. Obama was a better president, potential president at the time, and Obama ended up kicking his ass later on. But me, case by case, I was just listening. And the thing I think about, the problem is with a leadership role, intelligent people can have their minds changed. Okay?
Yes.
In a leadership role, when your mind gets changed, if you can't then change the minds of the people below you, it doesn't work that well. But I think if you're in a leadership role, you should be a good salesperson, good persuader, and allow the other people to see the reason that you change your mind.
Yeah.
But if you don't change your mind, on a regular fucking basis, you're an idiot.
Absolutely.
Because here's the thing is, as you get older, as more information, whether it's years or minutes, as more information gets introduced, you then have the opportunity to change your mind.
Yeah.
And as more information gets introduced, you should be open to that information. If you're not open to it, that's not smart.
Yeah. When I was younger, I liked Trump.
I love when I was younger.
When I was younger, like 4 years ago, I was like.
By the way, Trump was president for the majority of your life.
Yeah.
And
I was like, Trump. I love Trump. And then.
now, let me ask you a question. This is in high school, middle school?
Yeah.
And did you have a hardcore group of white friends that?
No.
You did?
I did not.
So were you the outlier?
I went to a school with a mix of blacks and Spanish people, and that was the school that I was in.
Yeah.
So
In Connecticut?
yeah,
Yeah. Who was the majority there? White
Spanish people. No,
Spanish?
no, there was no white people. I went to school full of Spanish people, and that was it.
Okay.
And I was like, Trump, and then I didn't like him when I kept growing. You know, I was like, all right, 2016, he's running, cool. I didn't like him in the beginning, and then I started to like him.
Okay.
And then he started to run again. I was like,
Well, you mean this new time?
yes.
Okay.
After, when he was going against Biden. And I was like, all right, I like Trump.
Wait a second. So, hang on. At what point were you saying Trump?
When I was
Middle
younger.
school.
Yeah, middle school.
But then you stopped liking it?
Yes.
Because everybody around you didn't like it.
Yes. And then I started to like him again. And the reason why was because of some policies that he had, and I didn't really know Biden too much. And Biden was Obama's old, what was he?
Vice president.
Vice president, exactly. And I didn't really know who he was. Trump did a good term 2016 through 2020.
Right.
I liked his term.
Dude,
I didn't play.
the thing that I hate most about Trump is that he was super good. You could like him.
Yeah.
And even people on both sides could say this was a good policy. You're entitled to your opinion. What I'm saying is that he was divisive to this nation. And he is.
That's where I.
And he's got a rap sheet that is jokeable. And the thing is, everything that he does bad, you just add it to his rap sheet.
Exactly.
And the problem is, this rap sheet is really bad.
And then just started recently when he ran again, I stopped liking him. I don't like Trump a lot, nor do I like Kamala, nor do I like any of these parties. I'm more independent than I am as like Republican or Democrat because it's a fucking mess. Nothing's getting done. New York's a shithole still.
Well, I think as a young
Homeless
person
people on the side,
as a young person to walk into New York City and say, I think Trump would be better for this than any liberal person, I think that draws a lot of light to the fact that we live in a liberal city and the liberals in the city are doing a very bad job managing.
Hold up. 2008 was McCain?
McCain, yeah. So, no, Mitt Romney was maybe the second election, 2012.
I believe so.
2012. Matrick, you can check me. Mitt Romney must have been when Obama was defending his presidency.
Yeah.
Let's move. I don't want to talk about politics so much. I hate talking about politics.
Politics is just back and forth shit that's just like,
Okay.
So
what do you got? What do you got next?
So, advice. You got advice for young people? I'll give you some advice. I want to hear your advice.
You give me the advice. I have no idea what I'm going to say to young people. What's your advice?
My advice to young people and older people.
You said you're going to give me advice.
I'll give you advice first, and then I'll give some.
I'd love your opinion on this. By the way, I really do. I said that sarcastically, but I really do.
Okay. My advice is change is good.
Okay.
For a certain reason, for this business. And for you.
Says the guy who focused more for his first 4 months in this business about changing our logo than actually generating business. But go ahead. Sorry,
It changed. It
So
changed.
by the way, I'm
It
attacking your
changed.
character
It
rather than
changed.
attacking what you're saying.
I know.
And that's wrong. I don't recognize it.
Advice that I would give you, to be honest, I don't really have any much. You're older, you're pretty successful, you have everything going for you.
I've been pretty successful. I'm now starting a new company. So
Yeah.
if for me, starting this company, like you guys see me at the top of the company, but you also don't recognize that, especially the new agents world, that I'm in the same place as you guys. My clients, my work is a little bit different, but
Yeah.
when I go home and I sit in front of the computer for 4 hours until 2 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
I wake up and I have almost 4 hours of commute time a day. That I'm putting that time and work in, and I think that to build on this, that my advice would just be, if you are not happy with where you are, if you want it to change, life has to get shittier. Right? You need to become more uncomfortable. And the example that I gave the other day in the meeting was about running. Right? So like when you start running, you're uncomfortably out of breath, and then you go out in the next run, and it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's easier, but your time is the same.
Yeah.
So if you want to go faster, you run next time faster, but you're just as out of breath as you were the first time. Now you run again. If you want to go faster, you have to be putting yourself at the same level of discomfort. And if you want to go faster the next time, so now you get yourself down to like a 6-minute mile, you could run the next 6-minute mile and it would be easier. You run the next 6-minute mile. After that, it's easier. But if you want to get down to 540, you got to put yourself in a crazy amount more of discomfort. And I think that the way that we've treated young people over the last 20 years was to not stress them, to not have them live a tough lifestyle. We talked about what happened to peanuts. Why are more people allergic to peanuts now? Is because people heard about peanut allergies, stopped giving their kids peanuts, and now there's more peanut allergies. Yeah. When young children need to develop the immunity to the protein in peanuts, it's a necessity as a child to develop that immunity so that you don't become allergic to peanuts.
Exactly.
The point is adversity when you were younger. And I'll give you an example. I read this thing last night. I almost screenshot it. So I had this thing. We were talking about it earlier. We got cut off. I used to follow this website, StumbleUpon. StumbleUpon was responsible for 90+% of internet traffic. And what it did was it took your interests, and then you put your interest in there, and it kind of indexed every website on the entire internet. And if you put your interest in there, whether it was math or astrology or astronomy or porn or I don't know, furniture or design or plants, it would then bring you to a random website, somewhat related to one or more of your things. And they went out of business. Now there's Mix doesn't do them, but they allow you to put your interest in there, and it brings you to different websites. So I like motivational shit and things like that. I like design and plants and all the shit I just mentioned, basically. This guy had this long post that he made about how he, the other day, had one of the worst days of his entire life. And it was really bad, but he came towards the end of the day and said, you know what, I've been through this before, I've gotten through this. When you're young, everything is the most. The first bad day you have as a kid is the worst day of your life, right? The first bad grade you get is the worst grade you've ever had in your life. But as you get older, he had a really bad day, and he compared it to the former worst day in his life, and he's like, I can get through this. But you have to have badness to be able to, you've got to be able to overcome shit as a kid. Now, if you're a kid and everything is smooth and easy, when you become an adult, you don't develop the coping mechanisms, you don't develop the goals, you don't develop the hard work that it takes to be a fucking badass in life, to be a badass in life. I don't know how else
we don't have a lot of men nowadays. We have
the men are becoming women. Not that there's anything wrong with women. I love women.
No. Be whatever you want, but men are not actual men nowadays. They're pussies. They're soft.
That's not nice to say. I mean, if they wear braces, have a ponytail.
True.
All right, so you got 40 seconds left. You can clock out, or you got a couple of bonus talking points you can double down on for our SipTalk Extra. Right, we got an hour-long podcast.
Yeah.
If you want to hit the SipTalk Extra, I pause this.
I think this is pretty good.
Wow, pussy down.
I
All
think we have enough.
All right, adios, guys. Thank you for visiting our podcast this evening.
Yeah.
Oh, no, don't hit the end
Yeah.
stream. I want to thank you guys for joining. Don't forget to visit SipTalkPodcast.com. Buy us a drink. Buy some
Buy some merch.
SipTalk merch. By the way, this guy ChatGPT all of our talking points, and he's got a whole bunch of bonus talking points. Apparently, we're not covering them.
We can do one.
We'll do a little bit after we close the stream here for the bonus. But you've got to visit SipTalkPodcast.com to check out that bonus. Don't forget, we do this because I like to drink, but also, no, actually, the reason we do this is because I love to just be able to think on things and really be able to articulate my points and develop them. Because I might. Here's the thing: is like you hear some shit about Gavin Newsom, you hear some shit about Eric Adams, and your mind develops an opinion fast.
I like Eric Adams.
But then when you have to defend that opinion, when you're filled with confrontation, and we have to explain a theory on something, you've got to then articulate it. And this is where my mind gets. This is the space where my mind gets changed the most. Is having conversations about shit that I thought my mind was made up. But I want to thank everybody for joining. SipTalkPodcast.com. Check out, follow Justin DiGiulio on YouTube. Follow SipTalk.
Yes.
And
pre-show on everything.
oh yeah, Jason is becoming a big time content producer.
Absolutely.
So on that note, Jason Barisha, spelled phonetically Berisha, DiGiulio DiGiulio.
Yep. You can't forget it.
Justin DiGiulio for Jason Barisha, saying adios.
Adios.
Keep that rolling if you want to hit these.
All right. We're not done yet. All right. We have one bonus talking point we're going to talk about before we leave. That's perfect.
All right. So a couple bonus points.
Managing money when you're younger versus older. I think this is the most key topic for young fucking people like me who spends their money on stupid fucking shit.
Like watches.
Watches, cars. I can, if I didn't work here, I would be in fucking Miami getting drunk every fucking night, and who knows what I would have done, Thank God I'm working here.
Yeah, you're working. So so what's the question? How does a young person manage money?
Yeah.
First off, no young people have money. Fuck you. You got lucky. You got lucky.
I wish I got fucking lucky.
You work for it, but most young people don't have money. Most young people are
absolutely,
struggling. Yeah. So the question is, how do you manage money? I will tell you that
how do you manage your money?
Well, the majority of my 20s, early 20s, I lived super broke.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that I was able to start a company in my late 20s was because I lived broke. So when I started making money, I didn't know how to spend money.
Yeah.
I banked everything. And then I started investing in what I thought was a good return on investment, building a company, et cetera, et cetera. But here's the thing, is that when I had my first $100,000 in the bank, I was early 20s, newer real estate agent. And the idea of dropping that money, dropping 20 grand or 5 grand or 40 or 60 grand on anything, like, would have been so easy to do, right? Buying watches, right? But my concern was you don't spend money that you have, you spend money that you're earning. So what I wanted to do is build a revenue stream, which is why I started this company. I never wanted to spend money that I had. So I spent the money on building a company, but I wanted to spend. So right now I want a new barn on my property. I could buy a fucking barn. Probably cost me a couple $100,000. I could go buy the barn, all right? But I said I'm building a hard line. I'm not building this barn unless the money from the barn comes from some recurring revenue stream.
Absolutely, this is working possible.
But what I'm saying is that if you're in your early 20s, the money that you make should be almost all banked. And it doesn't matter if it takes you until 30 to save 12 grand, you should be banking most of your money. Okay. However, you also have to live broke.
Frugal.
Okay. Now, I was so embarrassed for most of my 20s because everybody I knew was more successful. And even now, like, I don't promote that much. And I see a lot of people that look way more successful than me. I'm trying to promote. But the thing is, no matter how much money you spend, or you buy that Lexus, or you buy a watch, or whatever, you're still going to see somebody who's more successful, seemingly. My advice to young people is to live as cheap as possible. And the reality is, I mean, I consider myself young, but I look back at some of these days when I was super broke and miserable because I was broke. But I feel like some of the most fun times of my life. Some of the absolute most fun times of my life were like being able to afford a 6-pack of beer between 5 people, right? Like, but that was the high point, you know? So my point is if you're young, live frugally, don't spend your money, and just have fucking fun. Like, you don't have to spend money to have fun.
No, you
I
don't.
mean, you do sometimes, but
Certain occasions.
but save the money. So what I heard when I was younger was like, oh, my 20s were fun, but like I was broke. Real fun happened in my 30s when I had the money and could do the things I wanted to do in my 20s. But there's a lot of shit you can still do in your 20s when you're broke. Like, don't spend the money that you make so you have it when you're 30, so you can build on it. And then when you're 40, 50, 60 years old, you have a base. Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, you're right. You're right. You're right on that. I think.
Is that what you got? It's warm. It's warm in this.
Yeah, it is.
We're gonna have to figure out this room.
We need some AC ventilation going on in here. You know, it's 9:30, almost 9:40.
All right, so we're gonna call it an end. This guy's tired. He's sweaty. He's young. You know,
very
the young people can't outlast the old people. That's
hey, we disagree on that.
You're canceling. I'm ready to go home. Thank you guys for joining SipTalkPodcast.com. Justin, Julia, for Jason Barisha saying adios.
Adios.